I'm not too happy about that, but what can you do, you know?
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Distant Conversations. To all you lovely listeners and viewers, Gabs and I were just making faces at the camera like children do.
As one does.
Very glad that you guys have supported us and shown us your support when we launched last week.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you to
That was
all
good.
you listeners and viewers. Thank you for subscribing and liking, and please continue to share with your friends because we do need your help to grow the channel. So, what are we talking about today, Gabs?
So, today, very important topic. We're talking about that comedy. We're talking about that fun stuff. Stand up, sit down, up. I don't know. We're talking about comedy. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a time. Comedy. Woo. Yeah.
Gabs is obviously very, very pumped up for comedy, and she's not been out of the house for about 7 weeks now. So please
True.
bear with her.
Sad but true.
Who are your comedy heroes?
Do people have comedy heroes?
I have two comedy heroes.
Okay, you tell me yours, then I'll tell you
Okay,
mine.
so I have to say that my comedy heroes, and people who know me know this. My two comedy heroes are Joan Rivers and Don Rickles, and I'll tell you why.
Wrinkles.
Everybody,
Wait,
they're not people's
did
cup
you
of
say
tea.
wrinkles?
No, Don Rickles. Rickles.
That guy.
He's known as Mr. Warmth. Okay, so let's talk about Don Rickles first, since we're on this. Okay. Now, Don Rickles, for most young people, you will know him as the voice of Mr. Potato Head from the Toy Story series.
Oh, the bald guy.
The bald guy with the mustache. Yeah, that's Don Rickles. There we go.
The only thing I know it from is that you send a video of him to me on WhatsApp once.
Oh, Don Rickles, great. So for the older people, people know him as the insult comic. He is an insult comic. So he's great at all these roasts. Back in those days, they have comedy roast, okay? Kind of like the Comedy Central roast these days, but more vicious. So he would really burn the pants off people like Frank Sinatra and Joan Collins and Dean Martin and, all these legends and Hollywood icons. And he just goes up there. He says, Frank, your career at most 2 years tops. Just go to the home, stay in the home, but they love him. And this is a true story, okay, about comedy. Is that back then, there were no boundaries whatsoever. Joan Rivers, and we'll get to Joan Rivers in a bit, but for Don Rickles, he attacked, inverted commas, everybody, race, religion, age, size, but everybody just laugh because they know that he's doing it out of humor and it's out of good fun. And at the end of it all, he always ends up in a very positive note. There's a lot of God blesses at the end of the Don Rickles set. So I love Don Rickles.
I feel like we're gonna diverge opinions on this episode.
We might. But I mean, I'm not saying that you can't say what Don Rickles say today. But back in those days, people laughed a lot at that. So and true story, back to the roast, is that during Ronald Reagan's inauguration, Ronald Reagan invited Frank Sinatra to perform at his inauguration, and Frank said, "I will only do it if Rickles does it." There we go.
Wow.
And he did. You can go and search Don Rickles Ronald Reagan inauguration.
Oh, wow.
Now, for Joan Rivers, Joan Rivers really broke down the boundaries for a lot of female comedians, I feel, in my opinion. I was watching an interview about her recently where she was saying that back in those days, in the 1960s, on American television, she can't even say that she's pregnant.
Oh, wow.
She had to say things like, oh, I can hear the pitter patter of little feet. And that's what she had to say, and it was the network said, Joan, you can't tell people that you're pregnant, you know. And she got hit so hard, but she broke so many boundaries. She's the first woman to have her own late night talk show.
Okay.
Yeah, in America. You know, she opened up the doors for a lot of the younger female comedians that we know today, like Sarah Silverman, Kathy Griffin, you know, people like that. And these are the two comedians that could make me laugh during my lowest moments, and that's why I love them. But what about you, Gabs? Who are your favorite comedians?
I mean, I feel like, okay, number one, I feel like is this woman called Fortune Feimster.
Okay.
She's so great. She is, so she's originally from North Carolina, so she's got that whole Southern thing going on. And so she's a lesbian who's not exactly feminine, but you know, in growing up, she had to like really like do like debutante balls, and like her mother is like a very classic Southern lady who like wanted her to be a lady, and like yeah, so she talks a lot about that, and I just love her so much. Like she just brings me so much joy, so much happiness. Like love her, love her. Another comic that I really like is this woman called Ashlyn Bay. So she is an Irish comic.
Irish.
Yeah, I mean, but she's great. She's a bit more like less cookie cutter, you know. She's a bit more severe, but I'm into her. And yeah, I think and then I like the usual stuff that you know, like Catherine Ryan and Eliza Schlesinger and Ali Wong. Like I'm not very well versed in comedy, so like everything that is mainstream, I'm probably into it. But the only thing that I can't do, like I don't really watch like male comics. And okay, but like it's not that I don't think that they're not good or something. It's just like, you know, because there's a lot of like Netflix specials now, with all these different comics that you can choose from and see what they're about.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. I mean, but like, so I would put it on, I would watch it, you know, and then it's like nice, and then they say something shitty about women, and I'm like, like you were doing so well, but like, come on, like this is like,
sorry,
because
go ahead.
There's so many like sexist jokes, and it's just like it just doesn't make me feel good. Like when I'm listening to a comedy set, I don't want to like, I don't know, forget about my principles or whatever, because it's still like a bit like, like, yeah, this is super sexist, but you know, whatever, because he's funny. I can't really do that. Like I can't turn it off. So I usually go for female comics.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I think that I was watching like Kevin Hart. If correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kevin Hart's set usually involves quite a lot of female jokes or jokes.
Oh yeah, I
women.
mean, like my dad wanted to try American comedy, so we like a few days ago we watched the new Kevin Hart special on Netflix.
Of course.
And one of his jokes were about how like he calls his like daughter, who's like, I don't know, like 7, I don't know, she's young, like she's a child, like elementary school. And he like calls her a hoe for like, because she likes different boys in elementary school. And I'm like, I get that you're making a joke, and like this is kind of funny because you can't call children hoes, but like also like you do realize that you're kind of like shaming your daughter for like, I don't know, liking boys, which is a bit where I was like, like I'm really trying to like take my, I don't know, feminist cap off or whatever, but like it's like it just, I don't know, it like brings the enjoyment down for me.
So I guess you're saying that there are certain jokes that are not okay.
I mean, it's I don't I think, okay, so I definitely think that there are certain jokes that are not okay. Um, and by that, I probably mostly mean like rape jokes, which is a whole different topic.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah.
like, I think like I have a big problem with the rape jokes, and I
Yeah.
think that, yeah, it's not okay. And like, I think race jokes are also really iffy. Um, I don't know, like, but I feel like there's that gray category that I think, for example, like these jokes by Kevin Hart, you know, like calling your daughter a hoe. It's like they're in that gray category
Yeah.
where it's like it's not like too bad, like, because you know, it's like it's not too serious because he's not really like, I don't know, not really like attacking someone's, I don't know, trauma or whatever, but also like they're not that good. So
You know, I do agree with you to a certain extent. I think that there are certain topics that are really off limits. That I guess everybody has our own discomfort zone, right? Like things that like you really cannot touch because morally, I mean, for you morally, it just doesn't sit well with you. You know, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong because everybody's um, morals are different. Everybody's morals are different. Everybody's what ticks you off, what what you're okay with, what you're not okay with is also very, very different. Um, but when it comes to comedy, I think that I always take it with a pinch of I try to find the humor in it as much as I can, and I go a bit. I try to ease up a bit on the comedians more than I would, let's say, like if somebody was to say something to me in conversation. Yeah, I don't know, because I think that my dear friend Joan Rivers once did say that if after 9/11, if we didn't laugh, we would, where the hell would we be? You know, and I see where she's coming from. I'm not saying that you should go out and make fun of people who died in 9/11 because there is boundaries, but I try to keep those boundaries as gray as I can so as to not get too offended by it too easily and too quickly. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Yeah.
The whole idea of like going to a stand-up show is that you're in on the joke.
Yeah.
And like when a certain group of people is like the butt of the joke, then it's a bit like, then you're not in on the joke. Then you're being laughed at. So I think because like a lot of comics like to make fun of like STDs for some reason, which is like, it is like kind of funny.
Yeah.
But also I was just thinking like if I was in the audience and I like had herpes or something, like it wouldn't be that fun for me. And there's so many people that have STDs, and it's like, so I don't know. It's just like, why make people potentially feel bad if you don't have to make them feel bad,
Yeah, I guess so. But I guess also it falls back on a comedian's craft. I mean, because that is just maybe it's just their style of comedy. Like for example, in Singapore, there is a comedian who just happens to be gay, happens to be a minority, and his repertoire is filled with race jokes. It is filled with sex jokes. It is filled with, anti-government jokes, but he's been at it for like a good 30 years, and every time it comes up, people know, even to this day and age, people know that when they go to a show by him,
Yeah.
these are the topics that they're gonna touch on, and he's very clear. He's like, you know what? If you don't like it, then don't listen to it. Simple as that.
Okay, but that is, I think that is a bit of a cop-out argument, because like we can't pretend that a person in a public platform where people are listening to him, that his language doesn't mean anything, that like it doesn't have an impact. You can't say don't listen to me, because it's not even about that I'm not listening to you. It's about that you're saying these things to other people and they're like laughing about, like, I don't know, like a certain trauma that I might have.
Yeah.
And that might stigmatize me even more.
Yeah.
You need to think as a comedian, what's the butt of your joke? Because theoretically, you can make a rape joke if that rape joke sort of makes fun of, like, I don't know, like police ineffectiveness in convicting rape, or like it exposes a problem. But like if you're making the rape victim the butt of the joke, then it's not okay. Like, so you need to, like, when you're a comedian, I think you do have a responsibility to think about like how your words come across.
Yeah. And I think that that is one of my main issues with how people approach comedy today, is that I think that people are very unforgiving to female comedians. There's a female comedian called Kathy Griffin. Do you know Kathy Griffin, Gabs?
She's the redhead, right?
Yeah, she's the redhead.
Yeah.
So Kathy Griffin had quite a great career, She was like one of the top female comedians in the country. And then one day she posted a picture of her holding up a mask of Donald Trump with ketchup sprayed all over it. Okay? Yeah. And Simon will probably show the picture in a bit. But that picture essentially ended her career.
What?
Because
Why?
people went for Kathy Griffin like there was no tomorrow. She was put on the Interpol list.
What?
Yeah, because they would say the FBI went to her house. They said that she had plans to assassinate the president. Then do the Trump jokes need to stop as well? Because some of these Trump jokes are quite harsh. People making fun of, his mental capabilities and him, whether he is physically fit, whether he's having Alzheimer's.
Most of the Trump jokes that we do are like about that, like he's fat, or that like about his hair or his tan. And actually, like he was saying, that it kind of detracts, like that's actually not the things that you should be making fun of with Trump. Like it's about like the things he says and like the crazy policies that he enacts that are like actually hurting people. Because like his tan and his age and like his body, like so many people look like that, like, and so many people who don't share like the Trump values and stuff don't make like his body the butt of the joke, because there are so many more things to actually like be made fun of. In terms of Trump.
I can see that. But to be put on an Interpol list, okay, to have all of her venues and tour canceled because venues were like, oh, we're not going to do you anymore because you bring all this controversy with you, even till today. And that picture was how many years? Like 3 years, 4 years ago. Her entire career went downhill and she can't bounce back anymore. You know, she's
Yeah.
banned on networks. She used to host the New Year's Eve ball drop with Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper, who apparently she called a friend or thought was a friend, disowned her in a heartbeat.
What?
He refuses to reach out to her. He has not reached out to her before. And Kathy Griffin's career basically is non-existent anymore.
But like, why? Like, honestly, like so many famous people are dumping on Trump. Like,
yeah. And this is what I say, it's all these male comedians who have gone through, you know, Kevin Hart had a massive affair when his wife was pregnant, wasn't it? That's right, right?
I mean, excuse me, like to this day, like Kevin Hart makes jokes that like degrade queer people. And I'm like,
No, but look, Kevin Hart is selling out Wembley, selling out the O2, you know, arenas around the world. Nobody's shitting on Kevin Hart.
standard.
You know, yeah, so that's what I don't
Yeah.
like, is that there is this great double standard towards female comedians. And I
Yeah.
feel that as a female comedian, I mean, I'm not a female comedian, but I feel that I want to speak out of it because it's such a double standard. You know, why is it
Yeah.
that you can laugh at when a man does a particular kind of a joke, but you can't do when a female comedian does it? That I don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
And
Also,
Kathy
I
Griffin
think,
is so funny. She's so funny.
yeah. And I think also like a lot of, so as I said, like I think sex jokes for comedians are like the bread they eat, you know, like the sex jokes sell and they make them all the time.
Oh yeah.
But it's just, yeah, I think when you're like kind of reading like comments, even on YouTube, like whenever like female comedians make sex jokes, they're vulgar and they're
Yeah.
like hoes and sluts and stuff. But like it's fine when male comedians are like, oh yeah, I fucked her, and you know, like
There we go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not too happy about that, but what can you do, you know?
No, there definitely is a double standard. It's definitely a double standard, you know, because I just don't get it, you know, and I just don't understand why is it that they can't bounce back from it. You know, you get what I'm saying? Why is it that venues are still refusing to book them, even though they know that these comedians have sold out these venues 15 times before?
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with bringing them back again? You know, so that's my thing about sexism in comedy. I think there's a great amount of it in comedy that we don't talk about. We don't talk enough about.
Yeah.
So
Speaking about double standards,
mhm.
I mean, not really. I don't know if it's connected, but it made me think about this because we wanted to talk about the Prom trailer, and I said that I had a few thoughts.
Yeah,
And like
the Prom trailer.
yeah, and like my main thought like is James Corden's American accent is fucking terrible. Like it's so bad, it's not even funny. Like even from the trailer.
Yeah. No, I heard it, and immediately was the first thing that came into my mind, and I knew that I needed to like tell you about it.
I mean, look, I love the musical Prom. I love musical films. You know, I'm an ally. I'm an ally.
Except Cats.
I mean,
because Cats.
You know, it's debatable.
I mean, Judi Dench. Sorry, Dame Judi Dench licking herself.
Just another film that Meryl Streep will have to carry because I don't see the other actors pulling their weight.
Well, but they have Nicole Kidman in it. Okay, so for the listeners and the viewers, if you don't know what it is, go to Netflix. There is a movie coming out, I think on the 11th of December called The Prom. Okay, and The Prom, basically it was a Broadway musical that is now being adapted into a film that follows the story about this girl from a small town in Indiana, I think, or one of those small states. And she just wants to go to prom with her girlfriend, but the school said, no, we're not allowing that. And these 4 Broadway narcissists decides to, you know what, we're going to do something about it. We're going to champion this cause because all their careers are coming to an end. So they go into this town and they basically try to change and shake things up, and loads of our friends are in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like Meryl, James, or Jimmy, as I call him. Kerry Washington. Yeah. But anyway,
we're talking shit, but let me tell you, when it comes out on the 11th of December, I'm literally going to be the first one to watch it. Simon just posted a joke in our chat, and I'm not going to read it out because you're not, I don't think.
I think that people should comment their answers. And maybe we'll give you a prize. If you can answer it. The first person who gets the answer right to this joke that Simon has posted will get a prize from me. I'll find something for you and I'll send it to you, okay?
Oh, are you gonna read it out? You're gonna
Yeah, I'm gonna read it out.
It sounds like weirdly sexual, even though it's not.
I know, but the joke, okay, the joke is, if you can answer it, and we are serious, okay? If you please answer it, comment in our YouTube, whatever, comment it, and if you get it right, we'll give you a prize. The joke is, why can't your nose be 12 inches? And we leave you on that. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share with everybody. Thank you so much.
Guys.
We'll see you next week.